A quick recap. In the last session, the Shattered Coast group arrived in the capital and did some shopping for several items. The group then did their recap, drinks and jokes were shared, and a brief moment of peace was had. Angus spoke of the Black Prophet and how Albers might know who he is, so we recommended the group split up, and a few of you head north to speak to him and deal with the Black Prophet, while the rest of you stay here and deal with Glyndan's vision of a siege. The next morning, Glyndan, Oramis, Mazzy, and Angus teleported north. Gaviak headed north to Northgard, and the rest stayed in the capital. Dok, Balzanor, and Griffin went to speak to Artemisia about an issue she was having, awaiting her break while she was up on stage at Juliana's Arcane Cafe. You became aware of two undead figures watching you, well disguised in makeup and speaking to one another, blending in with the crowd. Artemisia took you into the back room, helping hide you, and told you her duet partner had gone missing. He was last seen headed to a graveyard just outside the city a couple of days ago, just on the coast of the Chromatic Cliffs. She asked you to investigate, and in return, she would get you an appointment with a woman who may be able to craft you some clothing that may give you some protection in the party at the castle in 5 days' time.
So Ben, just a question for you as a DM.
Yes.
So we're going to have to go to that ball not in our armor, so our AC is going to be lower for everyone.
Yes, they have said
Okay.
No armor, no weapons, no magic, so you can assume that arcane focuses and things like that will be taken as well, potentially. And this will be a very, very formal event. Obviously, that's not to say...
I'm not taking my horns off.
Yes, that is not to say that some weapons can't be potentially, attempt to be concealed.
You will have to put foam covers on them, though.
Put tennis balls on the end.
Yes, exactly.
And yes, some weapons might not be, like for example, you guys, even without arcane focuses, can still cast some spells that don't require material components. That will just have to be, they will just have to trust you to not be dicks, basically, and to not do any of this stuff. But that is in a few days' time. For now, Dok, Balzanor, and Griffin travel back through the city in the midday, sort of afternoon chill. It's a bit overcast, looking to rain within the next few hours. And while you meander on this walk, maybe one or two of you would think about the journey that is ahead of you, the vision that's ahead of you, what was spoken about the few days before, and think of the woman you may need to face in the near future, the Necromancy Queen, Yara. And just to remind you quickly of the tale of Queen Yara, a tale that Dok, as a dwarf, you would have known a lot from a young age, and it would have been told in most schools and in most places. Balzanor, you probably wouldn't know this tale, so maybe if the others wanted to catch you up on it.
I'm listening intently.
So over 900 years ago, there reigned a queen, brought a great darkness to the land of Ambyr. Her name was Yara, and she changed the kingdom more than any ruler before her, or any ruler since. According to the tales, as a young girl she found she had a strange gift, an adept ability to control the nature of life and death, necromancy magic. With these powers, it is said she would bring her cat back to life and kill it, back to life and kill it, for amusement and curiosity. When her parents tried to stop her doing this, she killed them. A wizard professor took pity on the girl and thought she needed to be able to control her powers, and so he helped cover up the whole incident and took her into the College of Wizardry in the capital. As she grew older, her powers and interest in the nature of life and death grew ever stronger. One day, many years later, the current king, an unpopular and lazy king by the name of Shroud, visited the college, and supposedly the two fell madly in love on first sight. He took her into the castle and married her within the year. It is debated as to whether they were actually in love, however, or whether she had placed a powerful charm over this king, or threatened him for power. A few years after their marriage, the Archmage of the college became gravely ill and sadly died. King Shroud, overwhelmed with love for his wife, named his wife Yara as the Archmage. She was a powerful wizard, of course, but disliked by many in the magical community. This lost him a lot of favour, not that he had much favour anyway, and gave her a lot of power in the nature of how magic was taught at the time. Within a year, King Shroud began to fall ill. He died painfully to an unknown disease, and his final request was for his wife Yara to take the throne and carry on his legacy, for she bore him no sons. Now, the queen of the land, Yara, began fixing what her late husband had let fall into disrepair, as he was extremely lazy and did not take into consideration the problems of the people. However, many were unhappy as to how she got the throne and had concerns over the nature of her leadership, and so an unrest had begun. But she struck back at this unrest with brutality and violence. Those who did not work to fix the land were killed, and in undeath she worked them until their body no longer held form. She took money away from churches and temples and put it towards securing allegiances of the already rich, and she sought to make Ambyr powerful and had plans to invade other continents and create an empire. A captain of the Hawksmoor Guard named Karakan, however, stood against Queen Yara and began a rebellion that lasted 50 years before the castle was finally breached. Galahad. You stand before the castle. You are tired. You've been fighting this war for maybe 12, 15 years now. And you've just had one of the most brutal and bloody battles of the entire rebellion. You are joined by Karakan, a dwarven captain of Hawksmoor and a berserker of the god of war Mars. Arcandius, one of the greatest conjuration wizards of all time. The twins, two young girls named 1 and 2, who can pick any lock, sneak into anywhere, and kill any target. And Sia, a woman whose power and intellect is of an ungodly being that even she cannot fathom, trapped within her blade. As you enter the castle, Arcandius summons creatures to deal with the guards. The twins find a secret path into the strange network of catacombs beneath the castle, and that network beneath the city. And eventually, you find Queen Yara's lair. Readying yourselves, saying a final prayer to your gods, you enter. After the initial formalities, Queen Yara, standing there veiled in a black, stood there in a very sort of like lace dress, laced sort of black veil covering her face over her head. A fight begins. She summons dozens of undead soldiers, particularly ones your party knows of. Arcandius's fellow college mates, other members, or other paladins of your faith, Sia's old mentor, the family of the twins, and many other creatures and monsters that prowl Ambyr's wilderness. As the battle begins, you are beset upon by a group of skeletons who are holding you back, but you manage to deal with them and dispatch them very, very quickly. However, at this point, everyone has spread around this very large room. Immediately to your left, you can see Arcandius is being surrounded by skeletons, and a huge undead ogre looms through the crowd. Arcandius has raised an arcane shield, but it's got lots of cracks, sort of spiraling and looming around it. It won't hold up very long. On the other side of you, 1 sits upon a perch, and she's dealing with lots of undead trying to climb up this perch to kill her, to eat her. Both if given an opportunity, can get a shot off at Queen Yara. They both have eyesight with her, but they need to deal with their initial problems first. You can only save one of them. Who do you save? Arcandius or one?
Arcandius.
Arcandius? You charge over to Arcandius, rush towards this huge undead ogre. Can you make me an attack roll, please?
I sure can. Let's hope this doesn't flop.
Well, it should be fine with Ben gave the early Avenger, shouldn't it?
26, that will definitely do it. As you charge towards this creature, you slice open its stomach, and as it falls, you ram your blade into its head, dropping it to the ground. The skeletons flee as Arcandius blasts his shield out at them, destroying each of them, and finally manages to throw an arcane bolt towards Yara. It blasts over her veil, pulling it briefly off her face, and she howls in pain. However, as you look over, you can see these undead creatures have amassed, and the pile of them swelled. They reach number one, pull her down into the pack, and she disappears. And the only thing you can hear is tearing, crunching, and screaming of a young teenage girl. You, however, have to put this behind you, and you move on. Now, ahead of you, Arcandius is quite tired, and he's beset upon by another group. He can deal with them. He tells you to go help the others. The other two that are in the closest proximity to you is Sia and number two. Sia is facing off against an undead wyvern, wielding its tail like a blade, and she's defending against it. It is very, very fast. Very, very fast, and a little way away from you. You may need to use some kind of range attack to get to defeat it before it can kill her. Or closer to you, number two is backed into a corner against two undead paladins, wearing heavy armor and clearly overwhelming her. Who do you go for? Sia or number two?
Number two.
Can you make, as you rush towards them, you have advantage on this attack roll as you're technically flanking. You are looking to deal, so you have an action and a bonus action. You've used all your movement to rush up to this guy. You need to deal as much damage as possible in an action and a bonus action. What would you do?
Bonus action, Blinding Smite.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunguard's Longsword attack. Oh, shit on it.
Sadly, that first one doesn't hit. However, you do have a second strike, as it's an action. You have multi-attack. Thank God for advantage. Yes, you do manage to... So the first attack, you're wearing clunky plate armor. You rush towards it. It manages to raise a shield up till your first strike, but you use the momentum to charge into its shield, knock it back, swing the blade around, roll damage, and roll damage for Blinding Smite as well. 14 radiant, 10 slashing. Pretty good.
Can I then add smite damage on top of that?
Of course you can.
Just level 1.
Holy fuck. This man, he knows how to smite.
Is it
What?
1d8 for level
It's
1? Smite.
2d8 for level 1, but it's 3d8 because this thing's undead.
Sweet.
15, that just puts you over. As you then slash at this thing, the blinding energy sort of radiating out, blinding the other one. To number two, with it being blind, is able to just charge up and ram her dagger straight into this thing's eye, and you just lop off the head of this undead paladin. The both of them are dead. However, you take a moment to look back around. Sia is completely overwhelmed by these sort of lashings and whips of this tail, and sadly, one of the tail just shink straight into her stomach. You can see this. You know, wyverns, they have a poison that they inject upon the stinger of their tail, and this poison seeps through her body, turning her veins black And then just when you think it can't get any worse, the tail straight through her sort of midriff, just below her rib cage. She's lifted up off the ground and then slammed straight into the ground. A cloud, a mist of blood pouring out. Sia is dead. You can't think on this now, as you notice that, turning around, number 2 pulls her dagger from the eye of this creature, levels it up, throws it towards Queen Yara, and it rams right into her shoulder. She howls again, screeching, and the screech is emanated just by all the undead around. She pulls out the dagger, and you're able to continue on. With Arcandius' help and the help of number 2, they're able to clear your path. You and Karakan both. You charge towards Queen Yara. And now we'll go back into the future, where Dok, Balzanor, and Griffin. You've made it out of the city. It's taken a couple of hours, and yes, sadly, it has started to rain. The road, however, is paved stone, so you're able to walk by perfectly fine. Many people are sort of running towards the city, and the roads are now fairly quiet. People are setting up sort of camp outs on the sides of the road waiting for the rain to pass, or it's just a fairly quiet day. And as you walk up the road to this graveyard, it does seem that word of its closing has gotten around, because you don't seem to see anyone about, other than 3 guards at the door. Well, at the gateway into the graveyard. The graveyard has a very thick hedge that's sort of like 10-15 feet tall, all sort of around it, and the graveyard goes right up to the cliffs of Ambyr as well. It's like, if you were looking at the map, it'd be like around here, around the sort of just off the left side of the city. And there is a metal gate stopping it, and on the metal gate it says, the coastal graveyard. There are 3 guards stood here, each with a shield and a spear in hand. What would you like to do?
Can
necessarily
we
see you
flash
coming
back a little bit, just like before we immediately, so we're not like having this discussion outside, you know, like stopping like 20 feet away and be like, guys, what are we gonna do? Can we have this discussion on the road?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So what would you be talking about or potentially doing on the way there?
No, just to clarify, because so we're going in here to try and find someone that Artemisia's performing partner.
Yes.
Who
Yorl
went missing.
Summersong.
Okay, and it's already being investigated by the Crown.
This disappearance is not being investigated by the Crown. She hasn't told anyone. It seems that when she has tried to go...
There's the Crown's presence at the graveyard.
Yes, when she has gone there, she has said that there are guards stood outside who won't let anyone into it. Usually people are allowed to come and go as they please, but for some reason people aren't allowed in now.
Well, do we go in aggressively? Or do we go in?
So, didn't want to cause a ruckus in a very posh cafe, but if we're out here, I think anything.
A bit of non-lethal bust up.
Pardon?
A bit of a non-lethal bust up.
Yeah, if they're human.
Yeah. Oh, and if they're not human, a lethal bust up.
We put them back 6 feet under.
Sounds good. I bought my shovel.
Have you got time for that? Takes a while to dig holes, you know.
We'll get Balzanor to burn a hole in the ground. Okay, are you gonna try and detect what they're like, their allegiance then? Or?
Well, I think we just start with the diplomatic approach.
Okay.
As limited as my skills in diplomacy are, although...
Are you only good at talking? Because I'm not getting
I'm good at
from
shouting.
you, little man. Okay.
Can shout with people quite well. Like Aramis, constantly telling him
as
what to do.
As we're coming around the corner, I imagine we're sort of coming up to the graveyard now.
Mm-hmm.
And Doc saying he's good at shouting at people, I'll just sort of move in front and say, "This is the sort of stuff I was born for. So just let me deal with this."
All right, yeah. You begin to approach this thing now. You are now probably like within sight of these three guards. They wear sort of basic guard uniforms, the equivalent of like studded leather armor. They look
As I
pretty
was
pissed
saying,
off to be
Dok
stood out
Griffin,
here in the rain. Yeah.
it's been 5 years since I visited my cousin's grave. I simply must see it. I've come all this way to pay my respects. Ah, good sirs.
Well, you know we are
It's
on a
good to
very
see-
tight schedule, Griffin.
Yes.
We must be in and out quickly, but I understand your need to pay your respects.
Thank you, Dok Griffin. Ah, good
As a man of
sirs.
faith myself,
Good
I
to see you
empathise.
there.
Hello
I
there.
suppose you could help us. I'm here to see my cousin's grave.
Very sorry, mate. This place is closed. Closed for renovation.
A graveyard being closed? Are you quite mad?
I know this is causing a lot of problems with the local community, but you will have to bear with us. There are some things in the graveyard that need tending to. Many of the churches have collapsed under weight of recent weather. Many of the graves need to be dug up for the sad loss of many others. Many of the much older graves must be dug up in order to make room for, sadly, the many people who died in the Battle North and who have died in and around the capital in these demon attacks. So sadly, the graveyards must be
if I
closed.
may.
Well, of course, roll an insight check. 18. Yeah, so you're looking at this guy, and this is... So it would make sense that it sounds like a thing that someone's clearly written on a board for him to say and repeat. It's
Insert generic excuse here.
yeah, like obviously he would have been told what to say when people complain that they can't go see their loved ones' graves. However, this seems a little more than that. There seems to be an act going on here, a definite act of this person is trying to sound official, but they're almost trying a little bit too hard, to the point where you can almost guess that they're not quite official, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
You know it's a sin to lie before the gods, and as a cleric, I carry the gods with me wherever I go. It's damnation for liars.
Well, never really expected myself to go many places anyway, if I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry, lads. There's no special
sure
treatment for godly
this
types, I'm
was
afraid.
On whose
A little
authority?
financial help would aid in.
Well, what sort of financial help are we talking here? I mean, this graveyard is, it's an important thing that's going on. It would
So-
certainly take some financial help to relieve us of our duty.
Now we're into sort of very illicit dealings. We'll just sort of drop the act and go, well, how many of you fucks are there? There's 3, I think. 3 fucks? How about 3 gold pieces for 3 fucks? That sounds good, doesn't it?
Guy just looks at you, up and down. Well, bet it's all nice and fancy, you saying that in that pretty little armor of yours. Hey. Come on, lads, don't make this harder than it has to be. Piss off. You've heard the rules. Stick to them. Mercenaries don't get special treatment.
Just think, you could have got money. And now you're getting this,
There
and
you
I'll
go.
rugby tackle the first one to the floor.
Yeah, roll an athletics check.
Okay. Please don't fail me now.
To be contested. Oh, yeah, you managed to rugby tackle him to the ground very easily enough. You knock him prone. You're now like right over him. The other 2 quickly move in to try and pull you off. If there's sort of we'll roll a very brief initiative. We'll call these guys.
Fuck!
We'll call
That's
these
good,
guys guards A, B, and C. You have tackled B.
I think that's a very
this is-
fair point there. as a guy to challenge.
Yeah, he does have some cojones, but there we go. So these guys are going first. The two of them grab you and try and pull you off. Can you make me an athletics check with disadvantage against the two of them both trying to pull you off, and the guy on the floor as well trying to push you?
Oh my god, the gods pulled you off.
Oh, natural one.
Sadly they beat you. As they like push and heave, you're pulled off to your feet, and then one of them is going to try and make a strike at you with his fist just to tell you to fuck off. Not really, like it's with like the shaft of his spear. So that is 10. As he tries,
you ever hit a brick wall? That's what this feels like.
Yeah, as he tries to sort of like punch you, you just sort of raise your hand up and grab the spear end and just sort of throw it to the side, and he pulls back. No, I said you'll piss off, right? Or do you want any more fucking trouble?
Who says that? The guy who's still on the floor?
No, one of we'll say guard A says that. The guy who's still up. The other one is helping his friend off the floor, and by the sort of next round,
But
he'll be fully
started.
off the floor. Next up would be Balzanor.
Balzanor is going to charge at the guy who's trying to get his friend up
Yeah.
and full on headbutt him with the horns.
Yeah, sounds good. Roll
lethal.
to hit with your horns. Yeah, that definitely fucking hits.
I mean,
Roll
with that,
1d6.
I think you might do a jump into him with the horns. He's flying.
Roll damage for horns. Oh, 6 damage. That's not bad. Hold on. What's I just need to look up the statistics for this guy. Yeah, as you sort of jump into him, I mean, you're a fucking minotaur. You jump into this guy. He doesn't look. He's obviously not as strong as you. He is a regular guard person. So you send him flying off his feet, sprawling into the dirt. Just like with your horns sort of ramming into him. And if you want, you can then land like on top of him if you would.
Oh yeah, of course.
If you would like to.
Pinning him down.
That is your action. Griffin.
So the guy who hit me, I'm just gonna take the hit, and then I'll try and hit him with like the flat of my axe.
Yeah, sure. Roll to hit with your axe.
24.
Yeah, 24. Roll damage.
Sorry, I've just seen the description of that.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh
It's
dear.
come to this, has
That's what Tyr says every time I use it. Oh,
Yeah, you swing around flat of your axe just against his face, and you can almost see it, like his head sort of like vibrates. As he sort of takes a step back, you have another attack if you'd like to make it.
yes, she'll. So I've gone across one way, and I'll bring it back to the other, try and hit him right in the temple. 26.
Yeah, of course it's
11
And-
damage.
and that'll do it as you bring it back around the flat of your axe, just and you just like the first one straight in the forehead, bring it up, and then the second one just bang. He physically like flies through the air, spins, sprawls, and lands straight in the dirt. Now just with like a face full of dirt. Like, Dok. One of them is mounted by a thing, and one of them's on the floor.
Third level, whole person. So that's both of the remaining ones. DC 19 Wisdom save, please.
DC 19 Wisdom save. I mean that was close, but no. Oh no! So both of them have nothing on Wisdom, and they rolled an 18. So, no, they're both held. Balzanor, you suddenly feel the resistance of this one on the floor just stop, and the other one on the floor. So the guy who was helping him has just been tackled. So he fell back to the ground, and now he's just sort of like just on the floor. I guess it would theoretically. I mean, would you have any bonus actions or anything else on your turn you'd like to do, or?
Just probably say something along the lines of Lads, the weather's shite. You don't want to do this. We've got business inside. Just give it up.
It's their turn. For the sake of brevity, because this would have to be some insane rolling to get it. I'll just roll them again. See if they get it. No, they both roll exactly the same on all of these. They rolled 2 18s and then 2 9s. So no, they're still held. And I'll say we can come out of initiative. They're both just on the floor, being held for this minute. Both just like one face full of water, the other one's just sort of like Balzanor. You can see his eyes, like he's trying to make them as wide as possible, but he can't physically move any muscle in his body as this fucking Minotaur is on top of him, looking like it's going to plow down on him. Well, would you want to stay initiative and keep beating on these guys a little more, or would you just call it there? What would you guys do?
Well, how long does your thing last, do?
A minute.
Oh, we don't really want them running off, do we?
Can we restrain them permanently?
Yeah, it's
Is there a
called
way?
death.
I was thinking more like rope
We could rope or we could just knock them out. I'm easy either way.
or that.
If they're
I'll ask a
knocked
couple
out, they're out
questions
for
first.
1d4 hours.
So we'd have at
I
least...
doubt we'll be here for more than 1d4 hours.
Yeah. Dok wants to get some questions going.
So,
I've got a crowbar if you want some help with the questioning.
You can tie them up and then knock them out once we question them.
Okay.
Sounds good. Whoever's tying them up, just roll me a survival check.
I don't have any rope.
Survival.
I said that thinking that I have rope, but Mazzy has rope. Not Balzanor, so...
I have rope somewhere, I'm sure of it.
Unless it's part of the Dungeoneers pack, which I haven't...
Yes, I have rope.
I reckon rope's part of a Dungeoneer's bag.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Alright, then I'll help you, so you got to...
Yeah, I'm not even going to look it up. I'm going to say, yeah, rope's part of a Dungeoneer's bag.
Okay,
Fuck it.
so I'll make a survival check with advantage if Balzanor's going to
I'll
help.
give you that.
Yeah.
I'm also going to cast guidance
with
on
advantage.
myself because I always forget that I can do that. So if I get 1d4 on top of this,
18 plus 1d4.
21.
Yeah, fucking hell. They, yep. You are 1,000% sure nobody's getting out of this. Not even when they wake up. Because they physically can't with the strength check. Like you bind this thing around their wrists and then almost like bind their hands together like that so they can't physically move their things like that. Their knees as well you bind together. And you almost like attach with this rope as well, you attach their sort of wrists to their knees so they're physically in like fetal position. So they can't do shit. They're on the floor. They wouldn't want to do anything if they tried. Of course.
Alright, first question.
Yeah, this would take sort of a minute so it wears off. Some fucking guardians you are beating up guards. And yeah, they can't
First
do
question.
shit.
Who's posted you here?
Fuck what I tell you.
See, saying shit like that makes me think that there aren't renovations going on here and there's something more nefarious, and therefore the tying up is kind of justified.
The councilman posted us here, Ben. Is that what you want to hear? Councilman.
Which one?
We don't fucking know. It's just a councilman. We don't have to tell you shit.
A firebolt in my hand, just sort of ready the action as if to throw it. Obviously, just
Alright, I'm going to put my
Intimidation.
hand on Balzanor and just be like, there'll be none of that.
just to let them know what could happen.
I'm all for Balzanor doing a bit of burning.
I was more puzzled doing intimidation, but yeah,
Oh, yeah, sorry, intimidation. The line gets a bit blurry sometimes.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get a bit of good cop, bad cop going.
Can I roll intimidation for that?
Yeah, sure. Roll intimidation and add your. Oh, fuck. Never mind. 21. Yeah, like this goes. It was It's just a job. Right? It's just a fucking job. We just got paid. You do what you need to get money around these days. All right. Just please, just let us go. We'll fuck off.
Leave us a name.
You don't want to mess with this guy.
Every 10 seconds we don't get a name, someone loses a finger.
The other one immediately reacts to that. Just Barnhill. Lord,
Have we had interactions with Barnhill?
Barnhill? Hold on. Barnhill. Which one's fucking Barnhill? Is Barnhill the one from...
Oh, it's the
Is that
what's his
Lazarus?
name? Oh, he's back.
He's now a councilman as well, apparently.
It's gone up in the world. To be fair, when you're a vampire and live for ages.
That was very clearly a lie. The whole thing about the councilman.
Okay.
So you can maybe infer from it that he's not quite a councilman. Or maybe he is. You don't know, but you can definitely tell that guy was like lying when he was saying a councilman. So.
I see.
Look, just
I'm inclined to let you
Doctor on the
gentlemen
nose
go,
who this is.
and I suggest you find more morally just employers. I've had experience with Lazarus Barnhill in the past.
Yes, you know what a fucked up man he is. Come on, just let us go, and we'll be out of here, and we won't tell a soul. I would pinky promise, but I'm kind of tied up at the minute.
Can I insight check the I won't tell a soul bit?
Yeah, of course you can. This man's lying as shit.
You always do that.
There is just this. There's, as he's saying it, this guy seems to be quite a good liar, quite a proficient liar, but it's his eyes that give him away. Just this, like, almost just this, like, spark of opportunity that he realizes in his face. So as he sort of lies to you, there is this, just this little spark which makes you think he's saying this, but he's probably just you can almost see that he's just worked out. But if he was to say that you guys had been here and stuff was going on, maybe that might earn him some small favor.
Unfortunately for you gentlemen, I don't believe you, so we're going to find you a nice spot out of this terrible rain, and you guys can just wait there until we're done.
I never liked fucking clerics anyway. Come on, let me out of this thing. And he just stops, and he's just kind of gives up. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And is there a spot around here where we can just basically tuck them out of sight?
Not really. It's a very sort of open area. There's no like trees or anything in sight. It's a very sort of open, very, very open area. You might be able to tuck them just sort of like in the hedge of the, of the graveyard, the hedge that spans around the side. Wouldn't give them much cover from the rain, but
mausoleum.
Inside the graveyard, you probably could. Yeah, there are mausoleums. There are charnel houses. Small shrines that have a bit of cover over them. Yeah, you could potentially do that sort of thing.
Okay. I would like to knock out the remaining two with Griffin and or Balzanor's help.
Yes.
Just bonk.
And then stick them in a like in a little mausoleum or something like that.
Yeah. Throw them in a little mausoleum. They're knocked out. One of them even starts snoring. And yeah, they are completely out cold. Completely out cold. As what is
as much they're all like tied in the recovery position, so they'll be all right. I am a doctor after all.
Yeah, fair enough. As you're now inside the graveyard, everyone make me a quick perception check.
Is there any point with Dok in your party?
I haven't got a massive perception
I've only got
bonus
+6.
compared to my insight anyway. Oh, but compared to the two of yours.
Yeah, so Balzanor and Griffin, you guys are almost like, you guys have never really met before, but you're suddenly, like, after all this, realizing, yeah, we're going to get along just fine. You take a moment just to fist bump and look down and both just laugh at these two idiots who thought that they could, like, really... I mean, yeah, the fucking balls on these guys to try and come up against two guys in full plate armor and a Minotaur. Like, come on. And you guys have a bit of a thing about that, but Dok, you're taking a moment just to look around, and you see way out in the... it seems this graveyard opens up into a sort of middle section, and if you were to go left, or essentially like south, you would go to the newer graveyard. There are a lot more sort of like white gravestones and marble gravestones, and the details on them are still there. But if you go right, it's a lot more of the ones where they're breaking apart, they're weathered, and there are a few gates between you and what you can see in the distance, which is a few flashing purple lights sparking behind a very large tree that you can see in the distance, like a large sort of oak tree. Behind that, some sort of thing lights, maybe like a mile down the way.
And this is in the older section.
This is in the much older section.
Well, I guess we're going this way.
Yeah. How are you guys traveling through this graveyard?
What, you mean the pinnacle of stealth right here?
Yes.
I think the
is there like any attempt at stealth, or are you just
one man's
going?
flanking band springs to mind?
Yeah, like, is there even an attempt at stealth? Is it just you guys are realizing, yeah, we can't do that, so you're just walking on?
Enough swagger makes it people think, oh, they're just going about their business.
Yeah,
cool.
like
So,
just stroll around with confidence, like we belong.
we look moderately holy, so we're not out of place in a graveyard.
Yeah. As you push through the graveyard, walking past the many gravestones of many people of many ages, you begin to see crows sort of perching themselves on many of these gravestones and old, withering, dying trees. And many of them look at you. But there is one particular one that sort of flutters by and stops. And you realize soon enough, this isn't a crow. This is a raven. It looks like any other raven, but it's strange that it's here, and it stops and perches and looks almost just directly at you. You can see in its eyes just this twinkle of something else, something more than just a dumb animal. As it stares at you and looks at you, watches as you walk by. And then it flutters up and begins to fly off. But is there anything anyone wanted to do at the present moment?
Depends how obvious that was.
It was fairly
I've got the
concerning.
two people that just rolled an 8 and a 12. Oh, okay.
It was fairly obvious, fairly concerning. Like, it made it didn't look like it was trying to make a point for you to see it, but it certainly wasn't trying to hide itself. It was clearly watching.
Just keep a guard up.
Keep a guard up. Okay.
Yeah, I think just
Bird,
watch it and be on
Get
alert.
an eerie feeling.
the bird lifts off the ground, begins to swoop away, and Dok, what's your passive perception? It's 16, isn't it? So you would notice as it sort of gets up and flutters away, you almost are the only one to sort of, you can't hear the flapping anymore. The flapping just stops. And as you look around, it's not there. As if it just disappeared into thin air. You continue along the way and find yourselves traveling over this mile into the very oldest section of the graveyard. The statues here have been weathered to the point where many of them are missing arms, heads, other sort of appendages. There are clearly some warriors who were once holding great spears and great weapons, and these weapons are broken off at the shaft, and different things like that. The gravestones themselves are barely recognizable anymore, but they're there. But they're kept there more out of respect. Many of them are slanting and tilting, and in different ways. Some of them have clearly been robbed at various points in time as the grass has grown over different areas differently. No one has visited this place in a very, very long time. And it shows in just a lack of gardening. There are grass overgrowing, growing onto the path. The path briefly becomes unrecognizable, less for the stone cobbles that mark the way through. Old churches have been decrepit. One church in particular, its spire has just collapsed, and no one's even bothered to notice. No one's bothered to fix it up. Dok, you may have heard people saying at some point, this needs to be sorted out, this needs to be taken care of, particularly clerics of Apollo, as much as they are people of healing and life, it's also a respect for death. And so there are petitions for these things to be rebuilt, but they're so old and no one uses them anymore. And they were from a much, much older time. And you finally come to this place and you begin hearing this chanting of many people in time with these purple flashes. And you get closer and you come to this where you sort of begin to rise up this hill towards this metal gate. And as you do, through the metal gate, you can see a large congregation of people. And even with the clanking of your armor, you can assume you wouldn't even be heard over all these people, and they pay no attention to you. There are maybe 6 or 7 robed figures on the other side of this tree. The tree is in the middle of a large clearing. Around the clearing are mausoleums and graves of all sorts. Behind all of these people are dozens of undead. Zombies and skeletons. Mostly skeletons at this point. These people that they've brought back are very clearly too old to have any remnants of flesh. Even armor has started to rust and fade. There are a few particular people you do notice at the front of this congregation. There are 3 people wearing slightly fancier robes and masks upon their face. They 3 hold scrolls, and it is their scrolls that are flashing purple. There are 2 figures who are armored. They wear breastplate sort of armor, very regal, sort of capes over them, hoods over their heads. They're covered pretty much head to toe, except for brief glimpses of their faces underneath their hoods. And they are armed. They each have sort of like 2, you can see short swords beneath their capes. And there is one particular figure who does stand out. This figure is dead. It is hovering above the ground about 10 feet. And this purple flash, this purple energy flows into this figure. The figure wears full plate armor with several sun-like depictions over the breastplate, shoulder plates, and the shield upon its back, and the sword on its side. The figure is nothing more than a skeleton at this point, barely clinging on to any teeth, mold growing over it, dirt covering it. But as these surges are being pumped sort of into it, you can see the bone is being almost like has these veins of purple light growing through it. As they begin chanting, Rasunak, Ifsentortum, they grow louder and louder. Just as you guys make it to this metal gate, which is actually open, it is left a little bit open, before you guys can even react, the chanting comes to its culmination, Inte necrodarstum, and there is just this bright flash. Final surges of energy spark within this creature. The eyes of the figure light, a purple beams into the sky, and it raises up another 5 feet. And this light sort of begins to well within it, but instead of this purple color now, it changes into a warm glow. And from this warm glow, just as you're watching, wondering what will happen, this 20-foot sphere of flame, like a sun, emerges around the creature, around the figure, sorry. It is completely opaque, and it literally looks like a sun enveloping this creature. And it spins and twirls briefly, and you can all feel its radiance and its warmth within you. Both Griffin and Dok, you hear voices in your head, the voices of your gods. Well, Griffin, yours is less of a voice, more of a suggestion. But Dok, yours is a voice that you've heard many times over, the voice of your god, Apollo. And it just says the word, Father. Griffin, your axe begins to light on the small runes engraved in it. Dok, your hammer begins to light as well. And both of your holy symbols have this brief glow within them. Now, Galahad, you charge towards Queen Yara. Karakan charges to her and manages to get around her flank. He raises his warhammer on high, you your sword. Again, you have advantage on a hit, a thing against her. You have an action and a bonus action to deal as much damage to the Necromancy Queen as possible to end 50 years of rebellion. Action and bonus action.
Don't fuck this up.
Okay. I'm going to sword attack again with another blinding smite, and then if I can add a second level smite on top.
Yeah, go for it. Roll to hit with advantage.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong thing.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit. Roll the damage for the longsword. Blinding smite, 12 damage as well. And 10 damage.
Second level smite. Is she undead?
She is undead. So that's 3d8.
48?
Well, yeah, 48, sorry, 48.
Oh, that's a terrible.
10 damage, so that's what? It was the blinding smite with that as well.
Blinding smite was.
Was that a mistake, or did you, or are you putting blinding smite into this as well?
I don't know. Can I?
You can if you want to.
Yeah.
This was 900 years ago, fool. So yeah,
Yes.
that's 32 points of damage in your first hit. You can attack again if you like.
Yeah. Can I do a second smite on? My next
You can
attack?
smite as much as you want in a turn.
All right. I will do another second level smite. And can I I don't know if I can do this. Hang on, let me just read the thing real quick. I had read it and I've forgotten. No. Don't know if that's going to be any use. Yeah.
Commanding presence when you use moves into the reach you
I've
have
moved
with a
into
melee
her
weapon.
reach there, haven't I?
Yeah, that's not quite.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll stick with the second level smite then.
Okie dokie.
My
Roll to hit.
second sword attack.
Yeah, hits. Roll damage.
Gosh.
And roll smite.
Smite, and also 1 second.
Oh my god!
gosh.
Lord.
Wow.
Jesus.
You just did your entire last damage worth of turn in one smite.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay.
I was also going to ask about dealing an additional 1d6 of fire damage on a critical hit. No, that's a separate bit. She's undead, right?
Yeah, she's undead.
Cool. Can I add 2d6? One for each attack.
2d6. Yep. Roll it.
Oh, that's terrible.
3.
My man, you just
Well-
got 4 8s on 4d8.
That's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, you definitely passed the threshold for this. So as you charge towards her, Karakan behind her, she doesn't know who to attack first. She places a shield up on his side, this shield of shadowy energy, but on your side, you ram into her, slash across her face, this blinding smite branding her. You can see one of her eyes just goes pale, and this sort of radiant scar emerges straight across her face as you slash. And then with the other thing, you just plunge your blade straight through her stomach. You finally let out a sigh. You've done it. You've killed her, right? This is it. She coughs and she splutters, and then she leans in close to you with this wicked smile on her face, and she says, "Your God's light better extend beyond this life, because you will drown under my shadow in death." And with that, she casts Power Word Kill upon you. Now, you have over 100 hit points, but bear in mind you've been in a battle and everything throughout today. So realistically, Galahad would not be on 100 hit points. And the final things you see, as there is just this in your heart, is Karakan just scream behind. No! And he brings his axe down to her neck, and as it pierces her neck, and then her whole body just evaporates into this mist. You close your eyes, you take your final breath out, you fall back. Everyone, Balzanor, Griffin, Dok, as you stand watching the sun slowly spin and envelop, you just hear this booming, radiant voice echo through the sun, and it pierces the heart and mind of every creature here. And this voice just says, "No." And from the sun flares tendrils of energy, striking each undead creature. And as it strikes them, they scream, they screech, they howl, and each one envelops itself, just essentially explodes into dust. The two armored creatures run behind the shadow of this tree, but both of them seem to have sort of burns across their faces where they've weren't able to get in just in time, but were able to save themselves from whatever this effect was. The cultists standing there, the human cultists, seem deterred, pretty fine from this, other than the blinding light. And as these flares culminate and pull back in, the figure hovering there is no longer skeletal. It is the full figure of a human. The human is fairly handsome, fairly built, hovering above, and he falls with a clank in his plate armor onto his knees. And Galahad, for the first time in 946 years, you open up your eyes once again and take a breath. A deep breath that fills your renewed, revived lungs. Now, all around you, suddenly, are people in dark cloaks, covered faces, looking at you. One of them goes, What the fuck happened? I don't know. This didn't work. This didn't happen on the others. What the sun? Some fucking godly shit. Fuck it, kill him. We'll just tell him it didn't work. Yeah, I like that plan. And with that, can everyone roll me some initiative? As you all appear.
Was that entire entry you're thinking?
A lot of the flavour, well, actually, the story was Ben. The idea was mine. I think it's fair to say. The character idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that was all. It was all Ben. I can't take credit for that.
Okay, that was pretty fucking cool.
Okay, Galahad with the 22, Balzanor with the 21.
Matt, you really upset me by rolling like a fraction of a second afterwards, because I clicked it, and your roll came in. I was like, yes, it's good.
Bowling.
No, it's shite.
So we got. Let's just roll for. So there'll be 3 groups of these guys.
Oh shit! I got 21. Oh.
So there'll be a couple of groups of these guys essentially. Right. So let me just clarify something. So the 3 guys here. So this guy, and this guy. These look like these sort of head necromancers. The others, the purple dudes, the ones with the purple tokens. The purple sort of markers on them, they all look like just regular sort of dweeby cultists, minor cultists. They don't seem to have much magic, and you can see as all this is going on, they're not readying spells, they're pulling out swords and daggers and stuff. These 2 are the armoured ones that hid behind the tree as the sun emerged. And let me roll in for these guys. So that's the necromancers, roll very low. Cultists, very low. Oh my fucking, okay, you guys are just going first. Most of you are going first. Anyway, so we've got Galahad, then Balzanor, then dudes, and Dok, then can't think of the word right now, so I'm going with dweeb necromancers.
Acolyte.
That would have been a better word, but I like dweeb at the minute. Just for you guys to know, so there's in the top left is the thing, and Galahad, you, my guy, are there.
Hot damn.
Slap bang in the middle. And with an initiative count 20, you open your eyes, see all these cultists around you, grab your sword, or whatever the hell you would like to do. What would you like to do?
This man's had 900 years of sleep. He's ready. He's taken his moment.
You can refill all your spell. You can refill all your spell slots. You've had
a rest.
Damn long rest.
That's as long as it gets.
Yeah. Can you also make me a charisma saving throw?
I can. Oh, sorry, that's just a charisma check.
Oh, what the fuck is going on?
Charisma save. Okay. Coming back from 900 years of death is pretty difficult. So, can you add 1 point of exhaustion to Galahad? That may have been more, but you rolled very, very well. Had you got over 20, that may have been much better.
Exhaustion's not on the character sheet, is it?
Oh, I can add it to your character sheet for you.
What is it? Can you remind me what it means?
Just disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay.
For level 1. Short long rest on, show exhaustion tracking on. There we go. That should now be right slap bang in the middle of your thing. So you should be able to click that up. Disadvantage on ability checks. So what would you like to do?
Well, I'll pick up my sword and I assume my shield.
Yeah, that's fair. You had your shield sort of like on you as you would, like in death. You know, it was like placed sort of. It was essentially placed on you, so you had that out already.
Okay, and then I'll just point my sword at this guy with the green and say, "Who are you? What do you want?" So he says,
"Dead men don't ask questions; they fucking die." And he goes to prepare something in his hands of this purplish energy.
In which case, I'll step forward and biff him with a sword attack.
Go friggity for it.
Is that the official terminology for Galahad? Give him a good old biffing. Tally ho, pip pip, we'll give him a good old biffing, chaps.
Wait
give
till
these boys a good old biffing.
Wait till I try and put on his voice. I'll do that when I actually speak to you guys.
I cannot wait.
Sadly, that does not hit. 13 doesn't hit.
The ground vibrates when Galahad speaks.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, a 13 doesn't hit, but you get another attack with multi-attack.
Second attack.
25 definitely fucking hits, though. Yeah, roll damage. These guys aren't undead.
Okay, that's a shame.
7.
Roll the undead word destroyed.
Can I...
Yes.
Can I whack
the undead for the minute for destroy? Yes.
Whack a radiant damage on top of that?
Yeah, of course. What level?
Just the first level.
Okie dokie. Roll 2d8. Mark off a first level spell slot. 14. Damn, yeah. So 21 damage overall. Anything else on your turn?
1 second. Bonus action, Shield of Faith? No, I've used the Smite, I can't.
No, Smite isn't a spell. Smite is an ability.
Sweet!
So
Bonus action, Shield of Faith.
Yeah,
on yourself?
Good, because it consumes a spell slot.
On myself, yeah.
It is not casting a spell.
Cool.
That's pretty
So
cool.
for the purposes of this, we'll add that on you for Shield of Faith, and you're concentrating on that. So there you go. You've got a fucking ridiculous AC at the minute. Cool. Next up is Balzanor. Balzanor, you're pretty quick to react. In fact, you guys are a little bit behind where I said. You guys are there. You can move through the gate, no probs.
I think you know exactly what Balzanor's doing.
Of course.
Boy, you best not be fireballing.
That tree would go up like kindling.
You're on mute, Matt.
I was sorry. I'm going to cast Ice Storm on the floor on the right.
Ice Storm on the floor on the right. Okay.
So probably there, so it doesn't get you.
What do they need to roll for Ice Storm?
We'll put in
Good.
chat.
Dex save, I believe. Though I could be wrong. Dex saving throw. Okay. Oh, okay. So for the purposes of being
range of 300 feet.
Purposes of being easy, I'm going to roll the purples together and the other guy separately.
Okay.
Okay, so the necromancer dude, the head necromancer fails, but the purples pass.
Huh,
So roll
So it is
roll damage. 2d8 bludgeoning.
2d8 and then 4d6.
Because this spell likes to be complicated. That's 5 plus 15, 20 damage overall. Halved to 10. Oh, these boys aren't good. These boys aren't looking good at all. But this guy takes that the full brunt of all that. And that's 20. Cool. Anything else on your turn? Bonus actions or anything like that?
Might be pretty early to do it, but I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to then be able to cast Firebolt.
Firebolt.
And aim at the 2 guys right in front of me.
Okie dokie, which one? Red or blue?
Oh, it's only 5 meters radius, isn't it?
No. Yeah. Firebolt is like single target. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go red.
Go red.
You know. A bull red. Don't like red.
Yeah, that definitely fucking hits. Jesus.
Oy,
19.
Should we take bets on whether Matt's going to roll below 20 today?
So pretty safe bet. No.
I think your only shit roll has been your perception check. Everything else has been pretty lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was going to play Mazzy and then switched, so he's got Mazzy rolls.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Same thought. I was playing Mazzy.
You tricked the system.
I have indeed tricked the system.
Alrighty.
Not the Matrix.
With that, the 2 armored dudes are just going to look at each other and then look at the both of you, pull out these 2 short swords, and as they brandish these swords in the light sort of, it's like getting dark now, hence the nighttime map. So as the sort of moon is coming up, as they brandish these swords, they just and you can see these 2 long fangs on their front, indicating to you that they may be of a vampiric nature. And they're both going to just jump. Actually, no, they're not going to pull out their they're not going to pull out their short swords. They're both going to pull out daggers. They're both just going to jump, whoosh, bang, whoosh, bang, 15 feet in the air. So they're now on these tree logs. And seeing as Balzanor, you're the only guy who's come out of the thing, they're both going to throw their daggers at you. So 19, natural.
Dok, we've been protected by this see-through gate.
I think
Well-
Balzanor's going to be protected by the fact that they're more than 20 feet away and they're throwing daggers.
Yes. But that is still a 19 to hit.
Not bright, these fools.
Still a 19 to hit you, Balzanor, with Red's first attack. His second attack,
So-
misses.
Because he's over 20 feet away, is that disadvantage?
Yeah, it's
or is
disadvantage
that-
on his throw.
And he still got me with
And
a
he
19.
still got you with a 19.
Right.
Hit the DM, Matt. Hit the
Fine.
game.
I mean, I could put shield. Sorry.
Don't hit
I
the
missed
DM.
that.
Hit the game.
I agreed.
Are you shielding or no?
Yeah. I'm not going to because it's only a
Fair
dagger.
enough.
But I made this mistake in the
Cool. Next guy
yesterday,
misses
or
with his
whenever we
first
did it.
attack with a natural 1. But... Oh, okay, and that is a 17 to hit. Which I think just hits.
Yeah, that hits.
Cool.
Good throwing on.
Indeed. So, you take...
That's fine. That's the plan.
So that's... Let's say, 16 piercing damage.
Right.
And... 5 necrotic damage.
Oh, I haven't got the thing up, have I yet? So fair enough. Yep.
And the dagger within you disappears and comes back to the hand. Both of their hands, in fact. And that is them too. Next up is Dok. Dok, what you got?
Okay, I will move up very slightly in front of Balzanor.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go there. And then I'm going to cast Daylight on the tree.
Daylight on the tree. Okie dokie. Let me just read.
Light spreads out from a point you choose within range. The sphere is bright light and sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet.
Can you put the spell in the chat for me, please?
Yes, I can.
Light spreads from a point in range. Sphere sheds bright light. What kind of light shines on objects? I see. Okay. The tree becomes extremely bright. Very bright, in fact. As you can just sort of see in the roots of the tree, this sort of glowing, shining thing emerges. However, it does not say that it is sunlight. The spell is daylight, not sunlight. I believe there's a sunlight spell at like level 7 that harms these things. So everything gets really bright.
Okay, so that's part of your plan, not just your plan. You turn the light switch on.
Yeah, everything gets super bright round here. It's no longer like dim light everywhere. It's really fucking bright.
Yeah, the plan is we can all see really well.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Well,
Cool. In which case, it is the head necromancer's turn. The one in front of you, Galahad, is going to sort of pull this. So he has this sort of like purplish, magical sort of energy in his hand, and he sort of spins it and morphs it, and he pulls it apart in his two hands, and he claps right in front of you. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oui, senor. Oh.
Sadly, that will fail, and you take 4, 12. Oh dear God!
But you're shaking off the rust, Luke.
You take 22 points of necrotic damage. But sadly, close range is not his forte. These two guys are going to just sort of look around and go, oh fuck, we should have known they were coming. Fuck it, do the thing. And they both reach out their hands in an almost like claw position, and they twist them and pull up. And around you guys, sort of around here and here, hands pull from the ground and claw their way up from graves and just random places on the ground. The dead claw themselves to life and appear.
Holy shit.
oh no.
There.
I am so scared. Please do not come closer to me.
And as their action, one of them is going to sort of look towards your big group over here. He can't quite see your big group, but he knows sort of what's happening. He can kind of see Balzanor. So he's going to just spin his hands in a circle as if he's casting some kind of spell. And as he spins his hand in a circle, you can see in a large... Oh, what's the range? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Sadly, you are 5 feet out of range for counterspell. Counterspell 60 feet, right?
I need to actually look at this. I just sort of said it and hope.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
And so a 60-foot sphere, I'm not going to bother drawing it, but a 60-foot sphere of just dark energy appears around this gate and around this sort of area over here. And can I get Dok, Balzanor, and Griffin to make me a Constitution saving throw?
Is this an area of darkness he has created?
Hello.
No.
Yeah. Balzanor.
What were you saying, Sam, about 20s?
I know, it's disconcerting. Oh god.
I'd like to get in the bin now.
Is there room for 2?
So, I don't have this many dice, so...
Oh, fuck off.
Or at least I
hope
could
it's
just
necrotic damage. I'm gonna wipe that smug look off your face when I take half of it.
Can Dok and Griffin both take 29 points of necrotic damage?
14?
14 for you, yes. And Balzanor, you also take 14. As the ground physically seeps this energy sort of out of all of you.
With a 27, a natural 27.
No, yeah, you take 14.
Okay.
You take half damage.
Oh, okay.
And this red guy is going to just do what he can do by attacking Thingamabob, Galahad. Fucking misses. Oh, fucking misses. That's even a good roll. That was a 21. So you can see he pulls these sort of strings of arcane energy and just fires them out at you from both hands, like these two blasts of necrotic energy. But you just sort of turn around in your sort of attacking of this guy and just ping pong take them into your shield. The dweeb necromancers are going to all just pull around. I don't think they're really going to do anything. They're just going to sort of pull around. These two are going to go for you.
Brace.
So these two are going to pull themselves here. What was that, sorry?
What did they roll for?
Brace.
Ben?
They're all 3s.
Oh, I haven't been yet.
You haven't been yet. Oh my god, I haven't put you on the initiative order. I'm incredibly sorry.
There's only room for one paladin here.
You rolled a 12 initiative, so you.
I'm about
should...
to help you.
So
yes.
And I'll take you putting back all the dweeb necromancers because I'm not sure they're going to be there in a second.
I'm probably not sure they're going to be either. So let's just stick those back there. And yes, Griffin, what would you like to do?
10, 15.
My profound apologies, good sir.
That's all right. I mean, there's an awful lot of shit on the battlefield. I'm gonna fireball the same group that Mazzy did.
Fireball the same group that Mazzy did?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you
Big
right
damage,
now,
please.
even if you rolled all 1s and they passed their save, the 3 cultists cannot survive.
Were they on 1 HP?
They were, yes.
Fuck's sake.
They have 11. You rolled 10. They passed the save for 10 damage. 25 fireballs, pretty average fireball. Hits that group. 3 cultists die. This guy gets to roll his save against it. He fails. Takes 25 points of fire damage as just this blast ripples out. These cultists sprawl over the battlefield, and this guy doesn't quite pull this sort of arcane shield up to his face quick enough to be able to deflect the damage. You're right, they weren't there.
That's my action, and then I will use 2. Will I do that? Yeah, I'll use 2 sorcery points, and I will bonus action a cantrip, and I'll shoot a fireball at the left guy, the blue.
This guy up here?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Watch this be dreadful. Yeah, I doubt that hits.
Sadly, that does miss. And as it missed, he's going to use his reaction.
That does hit.
And as it missed, he's going to use his reaction to throw one of his daggers at you.
Okay. Hit me, bitch.
No. 20?
No, that misses.
Yeah. Fuck! Yeah, as it comes for you, it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent hit, but you just with your shield knock it into the air, and this dagger just disappears and reappears back in his hand. He's very pissed off.
Just gonna point at him. Whee, whee.
Your base
I'm also
is
wrong.
20.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was also wrong. After the beefy necromancers or the head necromancers turns, it should have been the zombies. So they can all move 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5. 25, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 10, 15, 20, 30, 10, 15, 20, 30. Ones that aren't near you are going to use their actions to dash so that they can get right in front of you. Just giving you guys a bit of padding. And the one next to you, Dok, is going to... the one next to you, Dok, is going to try and make an attack. Dok 16 misses. Yeah, and the two that managed to get to Griffin with their base movement, they're trying to make an attack. They're going to make what's called a group attack. So that would be 13, even as group attack. Misses. Dweeb Necromancers, they're now fucking shitting themselves. So this one's going to run up to you.
Brace.
What is brace?
It is that.
When a creature you see moves into the breach, you can use your reaction to expend one spirit to die and make one attack against the creature using that weapon. If the attack hits, add the spirit to die. Yep, roll to hit. I'd be surprised if you missed this. Yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
Plus D8 for the spirit dice. Oh, come on.
As he rushes towards you, just with this little piddly scimitar. Clearly, this guy's just scared out of his mind. Not particularly competent. He's more of a religious person, but hey ho. Anyone with a sword is a guy with a sword. Runs towards you, and he does manage to just you're dealing with a lot of stuff going on right now, and so you just have to make this wild swing as he comes at you, but then he does manage to block, and he gets a little bit overconfident, and he does go for a swing at you, but that overconfidence brings him to a nat 1. So there we are. I bet his parents are proud. And this guy, actually, this guy's going to pull himself into here. Brace again.
You can't. It's
you can't. It's a reaction, and you only get one reaction.
Reaction?
Yeah, it says you can use your reaction to expend one superior to die and make one attack against the creature.
Here's the thing: I'm not good at reading, so I didn't know that.
I see. And this guy rolls a 4. Does that hit you, Luke? That's no, that's not a 4. That's technically a 7. But
well, if you times that by about 6.
There we are. So yeah, as you defend that, you just bring one of your armor plates up and just deflect the blow. This guy's going to stick next to his master, being a little dweeb. Galahad, it is your turn once again. You are surrounded by shit. Oh yes, let's do a quick break because yes, I have actually needed a pee for a little while now. That's now on the internet. Yes, a quick break would, I think, do us all a little bit of good. At the top of the round, Galahad, you are up next. Have a think about what you want to do on your next turn. All right, Galahad, you are surrounded by two cultists many cultists all around you. What would you like to do?
I would like to bonus action Divine Favor, por favor.
Okie dokie. What does Divine Favor do? Divine Favor, you've spelt divine wrong. Prayer
Thank you.
empowers you with divine radiance until spells your weapon attacks deal
That's how Southerner
radiant
spells it.
damage.
Divine Favor.
Cool. That is
Divine.
I believe that is a. Is that a concentration spell?
No. It's
Let me just check. Concentration up to 1 minute.
That's not how the Force works.
So you would lose. Shield, the divine shield,
well
whatever
then.
it's called.
Well then.
What's
Fine.
it called? Shield of Faith. There we
Shield
go.
of Faith. I'll lose my Shield of Faith because I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
Okie dokie, you lose Shield of Faith, but you gain a clock. Your attack deal 1d4 radiant damage.
And I'm going to start by attacking this guy here that I landed a blow on. Attack.
Which one? The purple?
The red and purple.
Red and purple, yes. That does hit. Yeah.
Plus
7
1d4.
slashing damage. And as you sort of turn to then attack this guy who's just charged in at you, there's just like he preps an attack, but you just with this divine sort of favor ringing through your blade, it's almost like a warm glow of the sun. Just chop, instantly cut him down. He be gone.
And then green is going to get a taste of the long sword as well.
Alrighty. Yeah, that definitely hits. 21 definitely hits.
And I'm also going to use a second level smite.
Second level smites, that's 6 slashing damage.
Oh, hello. What is this?
4 radiant. Then 1.
And then second is 3.
Second level is 3, so that's 19. Yeah, nice. As you sort of turn to slap this guy. The cultists here had 11 HP.
So you did 10 with your divine favor and sword, and then to do the extra one, you thought I'll do 3d8 of divine smite damage.
No, it's this right here.
It's against the.
Oh, you've hit him. I thought you were going overkill.
Head honcho, yeah, he takes a massive amount of damage. So you cut down this guy, and then from that, you almost like spin into a slash straight across this guy's face, literally cutting his mask like directly in two, knocking it off his face onto the floor. He stumbles for a minute and looks back at you. He is human. It's about all you gather from that. You could probably tell that before, but yeah, now you pretty much know. Other than he's got these purple swirls at his eyes, denoting some kind of necromancy magic. Cool. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Cool. Balzanor.
I have faith in Dok. So what I'm going to do is, I'm a bit annoyed I got hit by 2 daggers, so I'm going to fire a fireball basically on the middle of the tree to get both the guys that are standing on the branches.
Nice. Fuck this tree in particular.
Because should have done that first round, but I thought, why not?
In a different way.
Yeah, exactly. The tree will be lit.
Yeah, is it high up so that it doesn't hit Dok? Because if you were to hit the base of the tree there, that might still.
Okay, I'd move it high enough so it doesn't hit Dok. But let's say it probably catches blue and green, and maybe.
Just thought I'd ask after previous encounters where you've thrown fireballs is all. Cool. Yeah. Roll.
I don't know what you're
roll
about.
The fireball, and these two have
forgiven but not
dex
forgotten.
saves. So that's 1 pass. That's 2. That is 2 passes.
Real
I'm
duality
afraid.
in that fireball. 6-1-2-1-6-1.
Yeah.
That is 11 damage to
2
both of
2s,
them.
3 1s, 2 2s, 2 6s. Just even it out with a 3.
But I will say this is a very old and very rickety tree. So as it like explodes over these two guys. The branches are just flung all over the place. There, you can just hear this, and then just, and both their branches fall. They'll both have to make deck saves to not fall and land in awkward positions. Be passed, I'll say. Oh, I'll say, however, red failed. So blue managed to land safely, easily. Red, however, falls, takes a little bit of damage, falls just like badly on his ankle. That's 6 on a d6. And he, red, is now prone.
Oh, no.
No.
Good.
Cool. In which case, let us go now. Just spin the wheels of fate and go to who's next up. Armored dudes. Fun. So, armored guy gets up. Other guy prepares himself. Are they going to go for you? That's the question. And I'm thinking, yes. They're going to run around. Oh, this guy's going to run around here. 15, 20. Evaluate the fight. 25. 25. 30. And he's going to go after you, Balzanor. And first he's going to charge at you with his short sword. Cocked. Oh, that is a 15 to hit.
No, it doesn't hit.
The first one misses, but using his momentum, he's going to go in for a bite. Oh, that is an 18 to hit, however.
You know what? I am gonna cast shield on that.
Yeah. Okay, you cast shield. Your AC is bumped, and as he misses and charges in with his momentum, you can just see you cast this sort of shield, and his mouth just hits this thing like, and you see one of his teeth is just now like really jagged and wobbly in his mouth.
Just punch his teeth out with the shield. Does the shield last until my next turn? Or is it just
yes, until the start of your next turn.
Good.
And then this guy is going to... What is it he's going to do? That's very interesting. He is going to... I don't really know what he's going to do. You can't really get many decent shots on anyone. You can't get to anyone. So he's going to... 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he is going to try and throw a dagger at Balzanor as well.
They do not like you, do they?
No.
They don't. You fireballed them and done all sorts of shit. And the other two are really armored. So it's with disadvantage.
AC is now 21.
Oh yeah, they missed with disadvantage. This dagger flies. It would have hit. However, it just ping off its shield and then just appears back in his hand. Gets another attack. Yeah, and then the other one, it just throws and it lands like right at your feet. Doesn't even make it towards you, as he's sort of thrown off guard by all the stuff happening here. The groans and moans of all these undead all around. Comes back to his hands. That's going to be them. Dok.
I think it's going to surprise everyone that I'm going to channel divinity. Turn/destroy undead.
Yep. These are CR 1/4.
Oh, everything
so,
within 30 feet of me. Oh, everything undead within 30 feet of me needs to make a wisdom saving throw. DC 19.
Wisdom saving throw DC 19. It passes. He is exactly on 30 feet, so we will need to make a save. Oh, blue fails. However, I'm assuming all of these guys, I mean, I'll roll for them, but okay. All the blue zombies roll a natural 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones roll a 13. But that's nowhere near enough. So, Dok, how do you see yourself dispelling and destroying all these creatures?
Just like hold up my holy symbol and kind of channel the light source ahead of me and use it to power the radiant blast that just like shatters all of these. And it's, I'm imagining like, you know, like Sarah Connor in Terminator, like holding onto the fence.
Yeah, nice. Very, very nice.
And then you said blue vampire failed.
The blue vampire failed, yeah.
So he's still turned, which means it must spend its turn trying to move as far away from me as it can. Can't willingly move within 30 feet. Can't take reactions. For its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from an effect preventing it from moving. If there is nowhere to move, it uses the dodge action.
There's nowhere to move, it uses the dodge action. Cool. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm just sorting something out in the background. Okay, cool. So he has to use his turn to move as far away from you as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Perfect. But suffice it to say, all these things just, with this like this groan and moan, just cascade and are destroyed by this holy light, leaving all of you sufficiently freed up now as these things are starting to sort of like, luckily you guys have shields because that was what you were using to like push them away from you rather than just them stampeding over you. And these two like necromancers back there, oh fuck. Anything else in your turn?
Yeah,
Dok?
I'm gonna go 30 feet up to here and cast spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
Cool.
At 4th level. So where is my spiritual weapon? Where's it gone? There it is.
Not seen that bad boy in a while.
Yeah, not seen that thing in a long time.
So I'm just gonna put it there, and I'm gonna go for, let's go for purple first. Don't fail me now. You motherfucker!
This thing's created, and this red necromancer's like, oh fuck. But the purple one is like, he's still like fairly young. He doesn't really know what to expect from this. So he's like, but we can handle this, right? And then this thing swings around. He's like, oh shit! Manages to just duck underneath and manages to just fall. Essentially, the way he ducks is just by falling on his ass. As this thing swipes just over his face, but he managed to pull himself up pretty quick.
I said channel Mazzy.
Cool. Griffin, you're up, my guy.
I mean, has the visibly obvious effects happened to this blue guy?
Yes, he has. I'd imagine it's sort of like, you know, he's channeled this divinity. His eyes almost like flare with this light sort of energy, and he's like, oh no. And he does look like he's turning to run.
Okay.
Whether that be like him just afraid of this, or whether that be due to divine reasons, you're not sure, but he is definitely running on his next turn. That's very obvious.
Get him.
Yeah, I mean, I asked that. I'm still gonna go and fucking flatten him. 5, 10. Is he definitely running away? Good. This will be more enjoyable. Alright, let's strike him down with Lorax of Tyr.
Yeah, that hits.
One-handed.
9.
And I'll put a level 1 Divine Smite into that.
3d8.
3d8. Please, big boy. Please. 9. 18 damage.
9. 18 damage. You get to roll again. You get to hit again if you would like to.
How's he looking?
He's looking fine. He runs and takes this axe in his back, but he's more concentrating on running away at the minute, so he looks pretty fine. He is no longer turned, so as you hit him in the back, he almost takes this swing sort of just into the full of his back, steps, turns around to you. Oh, thank you. And then this other axe attack just immediately comes down and hacks him off, just cuts him. Thank you. Yeah, roll damage. That definitely hits.
106.
Yeeks.
And then, because he's thanked me for hitting him, I'll just hit him a bit harder this time because he obviously likes it. So
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
That's gonna be 68.
That's a bit kinky, isn't it?
Smite. Fucking go for it.
Get the advanced roll out. 68.
68. How'd you get out?
That's maximum level.
That's
Actually, hang
max
on.
level
I think
smite.
I took the. Is that 4th level?
4th level.
Fourth level, yeah. 4th level
Fourth
smite.
level.
On an
I had to
undead. So
just
4th
change
level
that.
divine smite is 5d8, Luke, and then because it's undead, you automatically get an extra one for 68.
33.
30 fucking 3. So that's... He's looking a bit more hurt now as this like and as it sort of like this thing embeds just in his shoulder, just this divine energy ripples out, and there's just this audible as it slashes through his shoulder. He's dropped to his knees, but he pulls himself back up.
Then. No, that'll do.
That'll do. Alrighty. Head Necromancer's turn. This guy here is going to be like, oh, motherfucking shit. And he's going to run 5, 10, 15, 20 into this little house over here. This guy is going to pull this energy and clap again. Can you make me a dex save, Galahad?
Pray for better, boys.
That's
21, that is much better. You do pass, so you take half damage. So you take 12 necrotic damage as half. And he will... Yeah, he can do that. Yeah, actually can. Can I still do that? No, I can't do that. So he can, with his bonus action, pull more zombies into the fight. So he's going to raise them sort of around here. 5, 1,
You got
2,
any more channel divinities, Jojo?
3, 4,
Okay.
5, just as a line, sort of seeing you coming towards him. And then this guy is going to be like, oh shit, and run 5, 10, 15, hurl some shit at Galahad. So that is a... that is a 22 to hit.
Just hits.
Just hits. And the next one has a 19.
Misses.
So you will take 20 points of necrotic damage as this arcane blast fires towards you. He can't summon anything anymore, so he's just going to remain a little bit back here. Dweeb cultist number 1 is going to be like, oh my fucking Jesus, this is not going good, and he's going to just follow his boy. I think he's just going to follow his boy back there. This guy's going to take a swing at you, thinking he's all hard. Misses entirely, goes for another
Riposte.
stab at you, but your shield is riposte. Alright. What is riposte?
It is.
Riposte, when a creature misses you in a melee attack, you make it. Alright, make a melee weapon attack at him. Oh my!
What a waste
Christ.
of a. What a waste.
What a waste of a crit. Roll damage.
I just,
It could still be under. Roll all 1s and he still lives.
also, with the ability of my sword on a critical hit, the target surrounded by radiant light. Each attack against the target has advantage until the beginning of your next turn. Not that it's probably going to matter.
Probably not. No, it's
I
just
don't
gonna
think
be
he'll
light
be
around just gonna be a light around a corpse at this point. Yeah, definitely not gonna matter with this. Like with this hit, he comes to attack you, you block with your shield, and then it's just this swipe up, and as his arm's almost extended to attack your shield, it's just shink off with his arm, and then shink down on his shoulder, kicking him off your blade. This guy is, well, he got what he deserved following some creepy evil cult like this. This guy is dead as fuck. Very nicely done. And that's them. So Galahad, it is your turn next.
Okay. Attack on Green Boy then.
Attack on Green Boy.
We're right. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, hits.
Add a second level smite to that, please.
Alrighty, so that is 3d8. So 6 slashing.
And then 3d8 plus
3d8.
the d4.
So nice, yeah, he's still up sadly, but that is a mighty hit. Just sword across his chest. Hit him again, sure. Roll damage.
Gonna do a first level smite again. Well, actually, maybe I'm not.
Oh,
Ooh, nicely done.
Have to-
12. Actually, that does it. That second attack, you just swing around. So the first one crosses his chest and he sort of stumbles. Second attack, right from the other side, shink, up his neck, falls to his knees, and flat on his face. He is gone. His zombies, however, are still up. Oh, I apologize. They were actually meant to go. The zombies were actually meant to go after his turn. So all of them would have surrounded Dok. I apologize. And they'll make one group attack against him, which is a 19, Dok.
Misses.
There we go. Galahad, anything else on your turn?
I will move to assist this holy-looking man.
Alrighty. Balzanor.
And 1 second.
1 seconding.
No, I can't do what I thought I could.
Cool. Balzanor.
Right. I'm going to use my bonus action to produce flame.
Alright.
Or flame blade, even. Flame blade, I said the wrong thing.
Okie dokie. Yep.
Um,
Attack him.
and I'm going to thwack him
Yeah.
with my now blade club.
Yeah. Roll to hit.
Great blade, I'm going to call it.
18 hits, yeah. Nicely done. For 10. That's fire, that's
then what do I get?
fire damage.
Added with the flame blade.
That is... So, Flame Blade uses your charisma, not your strength. No, yeah, not your strength. However, your strength is 1 less than your charisma.
True.
Or 1 more than your charisma. So that would actually be a 17, which still hits. And so it's roll 3d6.
3d6.
6. There we go.
I suppose it's alright.
Yeah, it's not bad. As you just you sort of hold your staff and swing to hit. Anything else? Any movement?
No, I'm in a fight with this guy.
Cool.
So no.
Next up, we have this guy who is going to. Your shield is now down. This guy is going to attack you. That is a 17 to hit.
Can I put my shield
You
up again?
can. Yeah. Shield up again.
God damn it!
Short sword. Ting. Second attack, and that's a 2. So again, goes in with the short sword. Ping. Next one. Ping. Hits his head again, and you can now see he's like dizzying because of this. Other one against you.
I allowed you to touch the ball.
Other
No
one
one.
against you, Griffin.
Never happen
is gonna
again.
Try. 14 misses. So just up against your shield. Ping. He's like this guy spends a lot of time trying to sort of find the things in your armor, but you're almost just like reacting. Everywhere he looks, where he thinks there's an opportunity, you just shift and move just to get in the right position so that, adapting to his movement. The first one, he tries to make, you're just way too quick to feel. Second one will be a natural 20, however.
Oh.
So as you move in, as he moves in with his short sword, ping, but then he sees an opening where you've slightly overextended just by your neck. And sadly, this is a bite attack. So, can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
Good, please. Not good.
So, you take 9 piercing damage. And... oh no, wait, that's 9 plus 14 piercing damage, because it's a crit.
14 total, or plus 14?
14 total piercing damage, because it's a crit.
Okay.
And 27 points of necrotic damage.
Halved.
And can you
13.
And can you reduce that from your maximum HP?
Is that permanent?
You don't know. You just know that you've had a bunch of blood sucked out of you. And
so
he will regain hit points equal to that number. It was halved.
So
13.
13.
Yeah.
So that's 53. And take 13 off my total for the moment.
Cool. Keep a thing of what your original sort of total was, obviously. Might not be permanent, but you never know. And he is healed a little bit as well. You can tell sort of some of the cuts you've delivered to him have slightly sort of bruised over. He's got a bit more colour to him. Actually, he doesn't. He's a vampire. He's still white. Dok.
Okay.
What's up, my dude?
I am going to cast Spirit Guardians at level 3.
Spirit Guardians level 3.
So 15 foot around me there are these like glowing spectral like winged motes. They don't do anything just yet, but they'll affect everything on the zombies' turns. They'll all have to make their save. And then as bonus action, I'm going to move my thing 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, just because I'm trying to sort of intercede it in the way, and try and make a non-lethal attack against this cultist.
Okie dokie. 18 hits, yeah. Swings around. Pum!
And this was 4th level, so... Oh, but it's...
Oh, but it's a 2 and a 1.
And it's a 1, a 2 and a 1.
So that is 10 radiant damage total. That's the first damage this guy's taken.
The aspect has been achieved.
So as it swings down on him, it hits him in the back. But he almost does get the sense, like it doesn't really throw him off his feet that much, and he does get the sense that was a lighter hit, and he turns on. Gods aren't with you now, though I'm kind of scared of that thing. As it just sort of shines and radiates in the room. Griffin. Oh, was there anything else, Dok?
No, that's action and bonus action, and I don't plan on moving.
Cool, Griffin.
Will use my meta magic to bonus action cast greater invisibility.
Oh shit!
But just before I disappear, so I'll just be holding my neck where he bit me, and then I'll just look at the blood, and I'll just sort of lick it off my fingers, and then turn invisible.
Yeah, and you turn invisible. This guy's like,
With a wink as well, Griffin?
No, just like a slightly I've gone a bit batshit crazy.
Okay.
Right, concentration, and I'm invisible.
You are.
I'm going to strike this guy twice with advantage.
You are indeed. Roll to hit.
Oh,
there we
he
go.
dead! He's so dead!
This guy's so fucking dead.
Oh damn.
That's one-handed 14
plus
damage.
Oh, what is unnecessary? Level 4 is unnecessary. So is that 12d8?
That would be 12d8, yeah.
If he ain't dead. 49.
Fuck yeah, he's dead. He's so dead. As you turn invisible, and this guy just looks around like he like holds his short swords up, and he's like licking his lips, and you can tell he's trying to look menacing, but he's like hesitating. He's like, "This is coward's play. This is," and then just suddenly, out of thin air, just this radiant light of the edge of Griffin's blade. He doesn't see it, and it's just. And then his head just... And he falls. Just this one... Like you've never had a cut so clean in your life. Very nicely done. One vampire less in the world.
Fine.
Less a vampire.
Here,
Vampire spawn. Yeah.
and I will attack this guy as well with my second attack. An ulti attack.
With advantage. Go for it.
Another that 20 would be lovely.
Sadly not, but a 28 is pretty good.
So 108, and then we'll pump a level 3 Divine Smite into this, which is 5d8?
Yeah.
5d8, yeah. 24.
32 damage this guy.
Yeah, from this, just like from invisibility, you can see his friend die. No, no! And then he's facing off against you, Balzanor, but moments later, you just see this guy retch as something digs into his spine and blood pours from his side. And you're very suddenly aware, oh, that was probably Griffin. Cool. He can go invisible.
We were in a kill there. Oh,
He can go invisible, that's fine.
Hi, Balzy.
This is fine. Cool, is that everything? Oh, do you...
Oh, that's it.
No. Wait till my go. Wait till my go.
Cool. Head Necromancer is... Well, he's petrified of this situation. He's going to be running 5, 10, 15, 20, keeping his dweeb in front of him. And he's going to... He's almost at this point like dragging the guy as well, like against his will, keeping him between you and those guys. So it's 15, that's 25 to hit Galahad, and a 22 to hit Galahad.
Shit.
I'm very, very sorry. They were rather excellent rolls. So that will be... I haven't bothered rolling this because that's just a lot of dice. So I've gone Google to roll it for me, because you can actually get Google to roll dice. So that's 30 plus the thing, that's 38 points of necrotic to you, good sir.
How are you looking?
Not fancy, just typing it.
Not good. Not good.
Not good. Not good. It's fine. Do you know who you got on your party?
Man's been dead for 900 years. Can I come back for this?
And the Dweeb Necromancer is going to stay here, but he clearly looks like he's holding his action for someone to get within his range. But also a bit pissed off that this Necromancer behind him is like basically dragging him as a human shield. Galahad, it is now your turn.
Is Lay on Hands a bonus action?
It is an action.
It's an action. Good to know. Okay. I am going to lay on hands myself.
Uh-huh.
Shocker. For 44 points of HP.
44 points of HP. Return that to yourself. Any bonus actions, any movement, anything else's?
I have none that I can take at this present moment.
Cool. Balzanor. Finish him.
Is he not dead? Oh,
No, he's not dead.
this is 100% overkill.
Mhm.
But I
That's what we
realise
love
we're
to hear.
bloody far away from the fight when this is over. So I'm going to I'm going to wait. That was going to be my question. Do I know where Griffin is?
Make a perception check.
Wait a second. Oh God, -1. Oh yes.
Yeah, 17 perception. I'd say you can hear a clanky thing come up next to you. This guy suddenly gets hurt, and you look at the ground. You can see that some of the heavy sort of grass is matted down. So yeah, I'd say you know
Right.
pretty much where
I'm
he is.
going to grab him and we're going to thunder step, both of us. over
Okie
here.
dokie.
And the thunder
Alrighty.
step should kill him.
Okay, he needs to roll a con save, for which he rolls a natural one.
So 3d10.
3d10.
Oh,
Yeah, right. It does.
Don't tell me it killed him with he had on 0 or something. Yeah, 19.
you thunderstep suddenly appear over here, and there's just this explosion of everything in this guy. Just this, and then whatever's left of him just sort of drops and spittles to the floor in this horrid. Like the vibrations of sound were so strong against him that he physically couldn't take any more. He drops and he dies. Cool. Anything else on your turn?
No, that was the action. Is it a bonus action? Have I got? No, that's all.
Cool.
Actually,
Well, the
I've
armored
got
dudes.
movement. I've got movement, haven't I?
Yes, you do.
Can I redcon slightly then? And then I just move one step back, so then Griffin is one step down as well. And then
Yeah, no, that doesn't make much difference.
5, 10, 15. I'm going to move to there.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Next up is Dok, then.
The zombies haven't had a turn.
The zombies haven't had a turn. They need to roll their things. What is it? Is it a wisdom save or a con save?
Just checking now. Wisdom.
Wisdom. I'm going to roll for them. 11.
They all take 3d8 damage. There.
Roll 3d8. $17. That'll do it. As these radiant, I believe you said before it was like birds?
Yeah, like winged, like little entities.
Yeah, these winged sort of entities flit around and just poking holes through each of these zombies, just and then just reducing them to nothing but mulch on the ground by the end of it.
Sweet.
Sweet. Dok, yes, now it is your turn.
Okay.
I'm assuming that probably vastly changes what you were going to do.
Well, I'm gonna bonus action. I'll start with this one again. Spiritual weapon. 15 to hit this guy.
15 to hit. That misses, sadly, as it swings around and he just manages to
What is it
sort
with
of
my
like.
spiritual weapon.
I know.
It's rolled a 1 and a 4.
oh, you haven't seen Love and Thunder, have you?
No.
Oh, for everyone else, it's like Stormbreaker. It's acting up.
I rolled a 1, a 4, and a 7.
That's coming on Disney Plus soon, by the way, JJ.
Cool. Yeah, and then I'll step up just to move this like over this guy, and I'll say keep 1 for questioning, just to everyone else.
Cool. Griffin, you're up. A necromancer is in front of you.
The one in charge.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll hit him then, but non-lethally.
There's one in
Oh,
there.
still down there.
There's still one in the house.
Not about him.
Yeah, I think there's more than one in the house.
Yeah, everyone make a perception check, actually, on that, now that you're all fairly close to this place.
Oh, that's a 4. Fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah, so... all of
Mr.
you
-1 in perception.
everyone else is very focused right now on
Makes no sense.
the current fight at hand. Griffin, you're a bit focused on keeping this grid visibility up as well as like fighting all this stuff. You've just been teleported. This is very weird. Dok, you've got too many questions in your head to be listening out. And Galahad too, you've just come back to life, so this makes sense. But Balzanor, you can just hear this faint whispering. And it's not in any language you're aware of, but it doesn't really sound like a language. It sounds like some kind of arcane speech. This arcane, almost like summon, not summoning, but arcane vocabulary. That's the word I'm looking for, vocabulary. This arcane, yeah, just words that are being said in a very, very hushed and very hesitant and very sort of shaky tone. Very, very shaky tone. And with that, yes, we'll move on. Griffin, it is your turn.
Yeah, so heeding Dok's advice, I'm going to just try and like hit this guy when he can't see me, so just hit him in the side of the head with like the butt of my axe.
Alrighty.
So I roll this, should get advantage. 28.
28, yeah, definitely hits.
100, 12 damage.
12 damage. He hasn't been hit yet, so he's looking still pretty good.
Oh, we'll just whack a fucking divine smite into that then, won't we?
That's what, 12?
I'll hit a level 2, so that's 3d8. Is he undead?
He is not undead now.
Okay, so that's 2d8.
Level 2? That's 3d8.
Level 2 is 3d8. I
Yeah.
shall hit 3d8 then. 16, so it's 28 damage.
28 damage. Nicely done.
And then
He's
I'll
still
hit him again.
up, but not happy about it.
Would
There
love
we
a
go.
crit.
Thank
There we
God
go.
for advantage. 23, yeah, hits.
One-handed, and then another level
11.
2.
What even are spells?
15.
So
Expendable
that's-
pieces of rubbish.
Not when they deal 12d8, they're not.
That's true.
He's not looking good. You've sort of like gone up to him and hit him once with the sort of pommel of the axe, and then the next hit just with that momentum with the flat of the axe now. And both hits have sort of like knocked him and stumbled him, and now he is looking very sort of stumbling back and forth, but he's still got these sort of two arcane purple sort of beads and this energy in his hands he's still going to use. Is that everything, Griffin?
I want to use my last 2 sorcery points. I want to use Green Flame Blade.
Okie
So
dokie.
is that another weapon melee attack, but with my spellcasting modifier?
Yes.
I think
Green
that's what
Flame
it is,
Blade
right?
is
Attack still. Right?
it's still a weapon attack.
So does
says
it count
you
as
brandish-
does it count as a cantrip or a weapon attack?
It's
then?
it is a cantrip, so you brandish the weapon using the spell's casting and make a melee attack with it against one creature. So it's essentially a free bonus action hit that deals an extra d8 damage. So
It has
yeah,
sorcery points. Yeah.
but you have used the sorcery points to use it. So yeah, you can just attack again, and add 1d8 damage to it. And you're 13th level now, which means that you deal 2d8 fire damage on top of that.
Is it
And
three?
this... No, because at the start you don't deal extra damage, you deal damage to the guy next to him.
Oh, yes, of course.
So that's 6.
That's a weird
And then
there's a lot going on.
it's a really
here,
weird cantrip. There is, yeah, so
on a hit, the
6
target
damage.
suffers a weapon's normal effect, and you can cause a green fire to leap from the target to a different creature of your choice so you can see within 5 feet of it. The second creature takes fire damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. So that's 4. At high levels, at 5th level, the melee attack does an extra 1d8, so we've done that fire damage. No, I haven't done that fire damage yet.
Yeah, so actually roll 2d8 because you're above 11th level.
Okie dokie. 6.
That's 6. Yeah. And then roll 2d8 to the guy against the guy next to him.
Okay. 9 plus 4 is 13, so is he dead?
9 plus 4 is 13. Yeah, he is dead. So as you then attack,
That's
the blade
lethal
sort of becomes
him.
Yeah, that becomes inflamed in fire, and you whack this guy again just with the pommel of your blade. The fire damage sort of branding a circle of the pommel of your axe right into his forehead, and then the fire leaps from this guy and just burns over this cultist. Spins around, turning, falling, collapsing, dead. And this guy is knocked out, you said. So, and I'm going to be honest, the only reason I'll allow that to be non-lethal is because it was the bludgeoning damage that got him.
Okay, fair enough.
So nicely done. The area grows quiet like a graveyard should be, as things calm down for a minute. But now that everything is pretty quiet, Balzanor can tell you about the mumbling.
Okay,
of
we've got
the person
somebody
within there
who's knocked out. I might just fireball that hut.
Fireball the hut.
That seems a touch overkill.
Fun
And
though, isn't it?
disrespectful to the dead.
Well, it's funny. As you're looking at it, above this thing is so the door, unlike most of the other places the doors, most of these other mausoleums and things, the doors have been open, but this one does have a symbol upon it, a symbol very similar to that on Galahad's chest, the symbol of Pelor, a symbol you would all know, the father of all the gods. So Galahad, with this sudden realizing, you have no idea what's happened. You don't necessarily know that you've come back to life or anything's happened.
It's just a
You don't
dream.
necessarily. But you do see you're in a graveyard, that thing there, and maybe a couple of you can somewhat put together that maybe that is where Galahad was taken from. So, with the area now quiet, what would you like to do?
Seems like I won't fireball that, even though I want to.
Well, don't not do what you want to do, but
Yeah.
there'll be frowns upon people for doing such a thing. Also, if this is the team of the guy we've just met, I wouldn't destroy it.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe he
Having
wants to go
seen the
back to sleep.
symbol, I'll start to cast. I'll sort of ready the action and then unready the action.
Yeah. Okay. What are you guys doing?
I don't mind going over and investigating because there's still people in there. I'm happy to have a look in and deal with any potential threat in there.
Yeah.
So can I push over?
Yeah, you push over, you stand in the opening doorway. It's a fairly small doorway, it's sort of like 5 by 5 foot square basically, and it steps down a few steps into this very small room, wherein at the very, very end of the room there is just space for one coffin, the lid of which, or sarcophagus rather, the lid of which has been thrown on the floor. Whatever loot and items were in here have been taken already. This does all seem fairly recent. You can still see some of the dust sort of hanging in the air. But that may also be because at the very far end of the room is a cultist, this necromancer, holding a scroll in his face. Like, stay back. One more step, and I'll do it.
I'm invisible.
Oh no, you are invisible. So roll me a stealth check.
Luke is more invisible.
With a big boy disadvantage.
It'd be a straight roll. Because you're invisible
Yes.
for advantage, but play armor disadvantage.
Stealth. Big boy +1. Reckon it's going to be a middling roll. Yeah, boy.
So instead, then, as you step into the area, there's just this clank, and you manage to get literally just in the doorway before this guy's like, stay back, whatever you are, stay back. What? I hear one more sound. I hear one more anything, and this goes, and I summon it. I only need one more word to finish this. You fucking stay back. And he's holding this scroll that does almost have, and you can see from the other side of it, there are sigils lit up in purple that are illuminating his face somewhat in the complete darkness of this tomb.
Whoa there. Let's all just relax, shall we?
You didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Griffin's going into this tomb.
I feel like we should all just relax. I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Show yourself, please. Show yourself.
I will drop my invisibility.
You drop your invisibility, and suddenly a shadow creeps across the floor, and you stand there, looking upon him. Now the moonlight sort of at your back, illuminating your armor. Looking into this guy who is absolutely terrified, almost even more terrified now that he can see you. He's like, oh fuck! I was right. It's you. It's fucking you lot. You stay back.
Take a breath, my man. Just relax.
Here's how this is gonna fucking go.
I don't see the stress here.
I see the fucking stress. You just killed all my friends. Here's how this is gonna fucking go. You're all gonna.
Yeah, if it means anything, we didn't try very hard.
Enough games. That here's how this is gonna go. You're gonna let me walk. You're gonna let me walk out of here. Back to this. Back wherever I want to fucking go.
Hypnotic pattern.
Hypnotic pattern. His held action goes off.
Oh.
Nice one, bro.
As you begin the somatic components, which, that's doing things with your hands. As you raise your hands
No, it's not.
to begin.
Yes, it is. Never mind.
Yes, it is. As you begin to raise your hands for the spell, the crane! And immediately after he says this, there is a flash of light, and from this scroll, something pushes through. What looks like a blade. Pierces through and stabs him straight in the chest, ripping through him, pushing through the stone wall behind him. He's like, what the fuck? And then another pushes through, and it opens up the scroll, extending it, and piercing into his stomach and opening him up as well, stretching this hole, pulling him out. And as the scroll opens and this guy opens, he falls on the scroll, and pulling out of this guy's ribcage is a hand. The hand, or even the wrist, is as big as the hole he's put through. It is as large as his ribcage, and it stretches out. Another hand rips through. The guy is now completely torn in two, creating a circle, an almost weirdly perfect circle of blood and gore everywhere that hovers and hangs in the air, just a few inches off the ground. These hands pull through, and then they raise up, and as they do, this whole body smashes through the ceiling of this thing. Suddenly, a huge 20-foot creature arises from within the tomb. This creature is covered in black sort of skin that just hangs to its body, like skin hangs to a very sort of old person, but it's weirdly tight as well. This thing is very, very skinny. It has fingers long as swords. It has this shadowy ichor pulling at it, strangely
Wasn't me.
sort of flowing in the wind. It has these two long horns that pull out the back of its head, and round two beady eyes set centralized in a very skull-like face, skin pulled tight to it. This ichor hangs around it. This gore and guts turn black, and they hang around it in a 20-foot radius, all around it. As suddenly...
And yeah, I'm going to shout, Balzanor, take it back, do the fire.
As suddenly appearing in this place is this motherfucker.
Oh, level 5 fireball.
Just remember who's here.
As it pulls itself out, it roars.
Is this creature demonic or more devilish in nature?
This creature looks a lot more... It doesn't, from your experience, necessarily look like any devil you've seen, but there are lots of devils in the Nine Hells. Though it looks like the zombie of some large creature, or a creature created from shadowy nature. And Griffin, as you're near it, there is almost this strange familiarity. You do not know where from. You've never, ever heard of where from. But there is just this... It's a similar feeling you get to when you cast your darkness with your sorcery points. It's this strange, cold, deathly chill. And as it does come up, Balzanor, you can immediately just go, fireball. It does get to make a dex save.
It's a really pathetic damage, though.
4
2s, 2 3s.
Matt, you just can be disappointed ever since that level 3 fireball that did 40 damage.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to look at this thing just before we finish off.
I like to think while this is going on, like Dok has just like started to talk to Galahad, and then just we'll get back to meet and greet in a minute.
So sadly, it passes its fireball. Its save against the fireball. It rolled exactly a 16. So it takes half. So that's 20. So that's 14 fire damage. This thing stands 20 feet over you, and every step is... And that is where we will end the session this week. To pick up for next week.